on? You're on.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Commish Weekly Recap Show for Week 6. All right. Was it an exciting week, Joe?
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
I wouldn't know because I was on a cruise ship. So, it's like one of those weeks. That's why, my own worst enemy, I booked this for my family, my grandma's birthday, my girlfriend's 1-year anniversary. You do a good thing, but you have to sacrifice the bigger things in life, which is fantasy football. So,
you're a true hero. True hero.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We don't all wear capes. Joe, welcome to the show. You're my co-host. Who else do we have with us today?
Mason. Oh, unofficial sponsor. Hopefully to be official sponsor. Fireball. Oh, did you already pour yours? You already ready? The Kiss of the Devil. Something about spiciness, but with a hint of sweet.
I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
Just like this show.
Love you, Joe. Thank you, sir, for picking up on it. Woo!
If Gentleman Jack wants to be our unofficial sponsor, our official sponsor, we'll take that too.
There it is. So we're going to get right back into it. We have a huge show.
Yeah, we do.
Huge show today. Huge. We're going to get through it. We're going to keep it tidy because that's what my co-host loves to do. And you know what my co-host also loves to do and tell you people?
Oh, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. But I almost
hit the bell
couldn't
button.
hear you. There sounds like some alarms are far away in the distance. Do you hear that?
No, now's not the time.
Okay, no, it's just so far in the distance.
Oh,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
Oh, good man. Foreshadowing. You know what, Joe? That went right over the old noggin there. So I appreciate you. That's a terrific. Round of applause to you. You're absolutely right. We're starting off this week's episode with the Love Trains, who are 1-4 in this matchup, 8th place going into it. They continue the woe train. You like that, Joe?
I like that.
They lost 146-98 to the Boner Pills, who were 3-2 in 2nd place coming in this matchup. Love Train, your most impressive was Justin Herbert and the Jets defense. They both had over 20. Most disappointing, your wide receivers combined for 7.48. We'll get to that later. Love Train falls to 1-5, 8th place. His only win came in against me, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think that's fair? I don't think so. Boner Pills, you're most impressive in this one. Cooper Kupp got you 26. Welcome back, Cooper. Good to have you. Your most disappointing was TJ Hawk, only player below 10. One newsworthy note from this game, Joe. Run CMC has an oblique injury.
Yeah. Yep. There was a lot of injuries, actually.
Do you know who had an oblique injury and who was shut down for the year in a different sport?
Tell me before I start guessing random.
Shohei Ohtani, sir. So oblique injuries are a serious thing.
Oh.
Yes. So this is something to monitor. That's why I put it in there. John, good news is you moved to 4-2 on the season, and you actually end up in 1st place. We'll find out how that happens later in the show. Joe, your pick in this matchup was John. Mine was also John. So we're starting this week off great, man. Hopefully we'll be right there with you, with each other, right?
Yeah, well, hopefully we had a lot of different picks, so.
A couple.
I think this is the only one we disagreed on, or we agreed on.
No, the next one was too. Spoiler alert.
Oh, okay.
Which was Thielen up your cousins, was 2-3 going this matchup, riding off a huge win in the Blood Brother Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. The huge upset. Huge upset, riding high. He was in 7th place coming into this. He loses to the Red Hot Brees Lightning. Wow. Early season week 1 trade paying off for both parties right now. They were 3-2 in this matchup. 4th place. They won 137-122. Thielen's most impressive was King Henry and Travis Etienne at 20 and 23 respectively. The most disappointing, Joe Lozier, was Kirk Cousins at 8. Disgusting. Evan Ingram at 7.5. David Montgomery at 3. He left that game that he played in the second quarter, though. So, grain of salt there, right?
And then the defense that was stopping him said, you know what? We're going to keep trying to stop your third running back while we let the sun god obliterate you.
Yeah. Yeah. But play some man-to-man coverage, right?
Please.
Jeez.
Please.
I know.
This man was all over the field. He can only play zone.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Jared Goff's going to find those soft zones. He's savvy. Andrew loses, falls to 2-4, maintains 7th place. Brees Laning's most impressive in this game. Tyreek the Cheetah Hill. My goodness, 2,000 yards. Bye-bye. We're seeing records be broken.
Yeah.
Records. Yeah. Most disappointing, Rachaad White, maybe not a winner of that trade, at 5, and Sam Laporta at 5 as well. So, Sam, you can give him a bye because he's just been so good for you other than that. Brees Lightning is currently on a 3-game winning streak, advances to 4-2, Joe Lozier, 3rd place overall.
Yeah.
My goodness, the ACC now accounts for the 1st and 3rd place team. You were 1, so now you're either 2nd or 4th, so that's going to make 3. Maybe there's 4 ACC teams in the top 4 of the league, which is absolutely killing me. Okay? Joe, in this game, you had Mahindra. I, too, had Mahindra. So we are 2 for 2 on the week so far. Woo! Joe, you know what time it is. It is now time for the 4 o'clock game, which means it is your matchup. We have the Dirty Randys, 2-3, 6th place going into this. Surviving a thriller, a college football instant classic, ladies and gentlemen, against the Chase D's. He won 116.6 points to 115.59. That's a 1.01 point difference, ladies and gentlemen. I will now let Joe tell you how that makes him feel on the inside in 5 words or less.
I understand your feels.
He actually did it.
I'd like to take a shot of our unofficial sponsor for that one because I know that you were not expecting me to get that done in 5 words or less.
This was also the closest game of the week. I don't think you can beat 1 point. Dirty Randy's most impressive after the shot, Joe Lozier, because you are the most impressive in this chat. I didn't chill that enough. Charlie. Woo! Pat Mahomes only 20-point scorer in this game. You lost to only one 20-point scorer. Most disappointing, Eckler didn't even put his point total. Metcalf 8.9 and Komet at 1.9. Cole Komet was a waiver wire pickup for you last week. Didn't pay off for you. Dirty Randy's, you moved to 3-3, however, in 6th place. Chase D's, your most impressive, sir, was Jalen Hurts, who threw 3 interceptions, but yet had 24 points. Because that's the power of the Hurts, baby. You are among the Chase to the Hurts.
Yeah. You like that?
That's the 3rd week in a row I've got your name, your team is my team joke in there.
Got it.
The Sun God, whoa, look at that. Who would have imagined that? 26 points. As well. Most disappointing, 4 players below 10, Joe.
Yeah.
Chase D's, your dominant run to start the year. Okay, I think you two were on a 3-game winning streak going into this. I think that got snapped. You are now 4-2. However, more importantly, you fall to 2nd place.
Yeah.
You've had the mantle of 1st place now, I think, for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
But if the playoffs started today,
which they don't,
I'd still be in them.
Right on. This next matchup, Joe, will tell you who is going to be. Oh, actually, before we get to that, Joe, who did you have in this game, Mr. Humble?
Oh, I had myself.
Oh, man, always. Oh, man. I had Mason, so I got that right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, hold on. My exact words were, I take Mason if Austin Eckler plays. And he did. He did horrible, but he still won. Didn't matter. Now, Joe, you know what time it is. It is everybody's favorite time. It is
America's
fantasy
football
game
of
the
week
of
the
year
of
our
century
game.
game.
It is time, ladies and gentlemen. For that, we had the battles of number 3 going against number 5. Okay, Commish was 3-2. Fantasy fraudsters, I'll call them what it is. They won the game. I'll call them by their real name right now. Fantasy messiahs were 2-3 in 5th place. Well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I was on the cruise enjoying Bahamas, enjoying fresh air, chilling with green iguanas in Bahama, Bimini to be exact. You know, the nightclub, everybody knew me there. Mr. Party Animals, what they called me. Got so many compliments saying I'm smooth. Okay. Got violently drunk Sunday, too. It's probably because I lost the game. I lost 120 to 102. My most impressive was Kieran Williams, 28. God bless. Sprained his ankle. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? My most impressive goes down? How desperate do I have to be for running backs? Why? Why? Why have I been forsaken, Joe Lozier? I lose J.K. Dobbins. I lose Nick Chubb. I lose Devon A-Chain. And I lose Kieran Williams.
You really don't hear that? It's getting louder. It sounds like bells and whistles. I mean, it's still not loud, but it's getting louder. It's like,
oh no,
you don't hear that?
I am picking up on
something.
Hold on. They're getting closer, but let's not worry about that. They're getting closer. Let's not worry about that. I'm sure it's nothing. I live in a high crime neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, most disappointing. 5 players below 10. Okay? But I lost Justin Fields early on in that game to a broken thumb. Imagine the difference, Joe. Imagine if Justin Fields would have been out there. He easily could have had 27, 28 points.
Yeah. Imagine if Baker Mayfield could throw to Mike Evans and Mike Evans wouldn't drop it.
That'd be great, man. Commish drops to 3-3. I am in 5th place, ladies and gentlemen. That means the SEC division, which is myself, Mason, Andrew, and Tuna. Together, we are combined for 5 championships, which is the most among both conferences. And we would not make the playoffs if, Joe.
They started today, but they don't.
But they don't. Thanks for bringing that up, sir. Fantasy side, your most impressive was Raheem Mostert, you son of a bitch. He had 37.58 points, Joe. Do you know what that accumulates to? That is 1/3 of his points total for the week. Yeah, get lost. Devon A-Chain playing this game, son, it's over. It's toast. So you go sleep at night next to your beautiful wife, Daniel, and you sleep carefree as you should because you have a beautiful family and a beautiful wife who is the greatest. Next to my girlfriend, she is the greatest, sweetest angel in the world. But you both know that if I did not get Justin Fields, this game would be different. Most disappointing, you had 3 players below 4.6. Get good, scrub. Joe, who'd you have in this game?
I think I had Dan.
Yeah, you're a son of a bitch. I had myself. So that means, Joe, on the year,
yeah,
you are 11-9, and I am 11-8-1. Next segment, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be brought to this waiver wire week is Joe.
You hear it? Dude, it's getting so loud.
They're back. This is the waiver wire segment. Why are they doing this in the waiver wire segment? This is news. Right before the waiver wires, a trade was executed late in the night, getting the details done, dotting the I's, drafting the T's, going to everywhere you can to make sure you're getting the best bang for your buck, and you're both coming out on top here. We had a trade involving Joe. Never in my life did I think I would see these two trade with each other.
Yeah. Honestly, and go continue. I'll give my synopsis when you're ready.
We have Your commish, run my chub with Bijan mustard. I'm sending out Mark Andrews. Okay, Mark Andrews. I know. It hurts. I had to swallow after saying that because that was a tough give up. Jacoby Myers, who, Joe, 15th wide receiver in our league. George Pickens. 2, the love trains, ladies and gentlemen. Big Tuna, one of my biggest, most hated rivals. Can't stand the guy in fantasy football. I love him in real life, though. Always give him hugs and kisses every time I see him. Ask him about the family. Ask him about the dogs. We are homies, but not on the gridiron. Who did I get back in return, Joe Lozier, you may ask? Woo! None other than the return of Alvin and the Cuckmonks. Camara, baby. Come on home, Alvin. I know you've missed me. And Calvin Ridley? Hello. Had him high on my draft board. Always had my eye on him. I'll get to his downfalls, Joe, in a little bit. And the prodigal son finally comes home where his career, Joe Lozier, will flourish like the beautiful butterfly he is, like Arthur Smith that kept him back for 2 years. Doesn't know, but knows now that he is a gorgeous phoenix. Kyle MFN Pitts.
Yeah, it was a wild trade. A big trade, 3-3. Yeah, like that was. I'll take a shot to that. That was something. You ready for my
Joe,
my
please
grade on it?
make grades.
So, take a shot to that. Cheers.
Cheers.
That was a big deal to get worked out. Here's the deal. If you were both 4-1 or 3-2, 5-1 or 4-2, whatever, it would be a lopsided. I think it would be more lopsided. But the fact that Tuna is 1-5, right? It's time to start making moves. You can't just sit back.
10% for an extended amount of time too.
You can't. He lost his number. Come on. Yeah, if Dan wouldn't have taken Travis Kelce 101, then he wouldn't have Jefferson. So, and then he got hurt. But Tuna's 1-5, right? Tuna gets a bonus, like the number 2 tight end, which I know is hard for you to let go of, right?
Oh, it's huge. And I told him this. I said, hey, look.
Jacoby Myers can work as a wide receiver 3 as long as his quarterback's back isn't broken. I don't know. We'll see about that. And then George Pickens is kind of a wash because what is Pittsburgh doing? We don't know. Whatever.
7 wide receivers.
But what he gets is
with a bye week.
A number 2 overall tight end and bye week fillers, right? What he gives up is massive. Okay.
Jacoby Myers is a constant flex every week, and if not a wide receiver 2 by his wide receiver 15 ranking, Joe.
As long as his quarterback plays. You don't want Jared Stidham playing. No, I'm saying, okay, right. That's what I'm saying. Like it's a decent wide receiver. And George Pickens. We'll let that one. He got Mark Andrews from you, which just blew my mind when I saw it. Okay, now on the flip side, what you get is a number 1 running back, top 7, top 12, something in that range, maybe top 8, top 15 by the end of we'll see.
Play 3 games, 15 plus in every game.
Absolutely, right? Calvin Ridley hasn't lived up to potential so far, but his ceiling.
Point games, and then you're right, downers.
The ceiling is massive, right? If they can keep going. And the other cat?
Kyle MF Pitts, or
Kyle MF and Pitts, who they were finally like, oh shit, let's throw 8 balls his way. Oh wow, he's gonna catch 6 of them for 70 yards. Great.
Freak, can we use him?
So yes, you downgraded at tight end, but also it's not like you just got nobody. You got somebody who can give you points. And the biggest part, you got your number 1 running back, and you got a number 2 wide receiver.
After all the injury hurt.
All in all, based on record, and solely based on Tuna's record of 1-5 and how he needed a shakeup. He needed something to give. I'm going to give you Bijan Mustard and Rubbin Chubbs and stuff about a 94, and Tuna a 90. That's where I'm at.
That's fair. Joe, my grades, I do my grades differently than you. That's what makes us different, and I love it. 94, 90, brilliant. And that's actually about accurate where I put mine. So in this trade grade, and by the way,
in this trade rape, it's not a trade rape.
No. I said trade grade. Great.
When I saw that you traded with Tuna, I was like, oh God, here we go.
With a G. Great. Yeah. No. With a G. So I have Tuna at a B. And mind you, Tuna initiated this trade. I told him I was interested in Ridley. I think I sent him a trade that had Kamara in it. I think I was offering Mixon in it. But I asked him who he would be more, who he would be willing to give up. He told me Debo or Calvin. I said, great, I would love them. And I asked him who he needed. He said tight end, a little behind the scenes. And I said, well, I have Mark Andrews, number 2 fantasy tight end. But you have to understand, Tuna, it's not going to be cheap to get him. And he goes, I get that. Well, send over an offer. Or he's saying, let me see tonight what I can do, and I'll send something over. So, of course, I go on the cruise, and I come back to this. And what we agreed upon, I think for Tuna, for any time he can get a top 3 player at a position, a top 2, arguably, you take that, right? Because you're set. Plug and play every single week. Also, like I said earlier, Jacoby Myers, 15th best wide receiver. George Pickens right now is the 27th. This was after the bye week, though. Take away that bye week, top 20. So all in all, great value. Now he's giving up Calvin Ridley, but currently Calvin Ridley, no bye week, is 5. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, 20. Did the Jaguars have a bye week, Joe?
No.
Yeah. So he is currently, I think, number 25. I don't necessarily have that down there. But it also gives me a trustworthy wide receiver. Okay. I'm good with starting Calvin Ridley, hoping to get 20 points instead of starting George Pickens or Jacoby Myers and getting, in the low 10s, from my point of view. Kamara replenishes my backfield after all the injuries I've sustained, after everything that's happened, especially going forward. This week, I would have had to play Javonte Williams, who was on my team, foreshadowing. And then Kyle Pitts is on Clay's teams now, Commish's team, who I've talked about my entire life since he's been at the University of Florida as a genetic miracle, a specimen, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest tight end we've ever seen. And now that he's with me and a believer, he's going to prosper. So I give Tuna a B in this trade. I give myself a B to a B+. So I think we're pretty even there with our rankings. Feeling up your cousins in the waiver wire comments. Added Jerome Ford and Brandon McManus. They dropped OBJ and Daniel Carlson. I myself, Joe, I was not done making moves because in the next waiver wire spot at number 5, I went ahead and dropped Javonte Williams, who I am a big fan of, but let's be real, I thought about starting him this week and I had to make a trade. It is what it is, right? You can't win with 8 to 9 points. I added, though, Dalton Schultz, who is currently, Joe, do you know what he's ranked right now?
5?
5 or 6. You're damn right.
Yeah.
To bolster my trade, baby. Joe, you were right behind me. You dropped Miami's defense and you added, well done, sir, because some news came out afterwards that makes this a lot more valuable to you.
Yeah.
You added Zach Evans.
Yeah. Kieran's done. Ronnie Rivers went on the IR today. Evans.
I got good and bad news for you, Joe.
Shoot.
Which one first?
Good news.
Good news is Kieran Williams is probably going to be out latest till after the bye, earliest the week before the bye.
Bad news.
They re-signed Darrell Henderson.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Who knows the offense.
He's a bowling ball. He's a bowling ball.
Takeaway touches.
You know what? Takeaway touches. Latavius Murray is out here stealing touches from James Cook. Latavius Murray.
It's the vulture, bro.
My God. Latavius Murray.
Joe.
That name has been thrown around for a decade.
As a Bijan Robinson fan, 0 rushing touchdowns. Tyler Algier has like 2 or 3. Okay, don't talk to me about that. I know all about it.
You're lucky they don't give Patterson 5-7 touches a game.
Yeah, thank goodness. Trade him. Imagine if Patterson were on the Dolphins. Disgusting. Fantasy Messiah, you dropped Jalen, something Reed, wide receiver for the Packers, Falcons defense. You added Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers defense. It doesn't matter which Bay. You just support all the Bays, apparently. Joe, it is now time for the 3 Ps segment. The 3 Ps are
pimps, players, prostate exams.
All wrong, but we'll take it for this one. I liked how it sounded. Our first matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Joe?
Predictions and pretentiousness.
That was 2 Ps, but yes, previews, predictions, and pretentiousness.
Previews.
So, one of those, ladies and gentlemen, is the Fantasy Messiahs at 3-3, 4th place, taking on the Love Trains, 1-5, 8th place. Joe, will the trade that Tuna made be the difference in this one? I couldn't tell you because he hasn't set his lineup since doing it, so the projected points is so skewed I didn't bother including them. But let me tell you about the buys. Daniel currently has Joe Burrow on bye. He picked up Jordan Love, so he's probably going to start Jordan Love. Tuna has C.J. Stroud, who is a backup. Ewan McPherson, if you know, you know on that one. And New York Jets defense on bye, who he needs to – both his special teams are on buys, ladies and gentlemen. Predictions in this one, Joe Lozier. Do you have Daniel or do you have Tuna?
Give me yours first, and then I'll give you mine. I'm just looking through. I'm just having a little look through real quick. Go ahead.
He hasn't set his lineup, so honest to God, I really can't tell you based off lineups because he hasn't set his lineup, and Daniel I think set his. But I'm going Tuna here, bro. Not just because I traded with him, but I actually think Daniel does not have a good team outside of Raheem Mostert, and Raheem Mostert's getting shut down by Philly this week, bro. So, game over. And he's starting the Packers defense. I don't know who they're going against, but come on.
Yes, yeah, Tuna definitely needs some help here. I think I'm going to go with Tuna. Nope, I'll go Dan.
He's switching it up, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, I'm going to go Dan.
Well, Joe, that brings us to our next matchup. Who we have? You, Joe Lozier. Chase D's at 2, second place going into this versus feeling up your cousins. We have Andrew versus Joe, ladies and gentlemen. A matchup number 2 versus number 7. Buys this week. Joe, you have Jamar Chase. You have Dameon Pierce. Go Gators. You have Wilson. You have the Cowboys defense. However, Joe, it's not all boo-hoo for you because Andrew buys. Andrew has D-Hop, King Henry, Dalvin Cook, which is and also T. Higgins. King Henry's a big one, Joe.
And he's got 2 Vikings going against that San Fran D.
Joe, I'll let you get first on this.
Yeah, I'm going me all day. Put it in the bank.
Oh, my God.
Put your house on it. Lock it in.
As you were here to hear that. You know who I got, Joe? I'm going with not necessarily the better man, but I'm going with the better team. I'm going with Joe Lozier and Chase D's.
Oh, he says she ain't had no nibbles.
Players are on it, so my players are on that team. So it's kind of like, I like to see my kids get raised by somebody else. I don't have to do the hard work.
That's it.
Anyway, that's pretty damn good. Fireball is bringing us our 4 o'clock game, ladies and gentlemen.
4 o'clock Fireball.
No time is the wrong time for Fireball. Unofficial sponsor.
Unless Gentleman Jack wants to be our unofficial sponsor. I mean, our official sponsor. Because I guarantee you, Gentleman Jack, if you sponsor us, Clay will change his way.
Cheers. Not to that.
Woo!
In the
4 o'clock matchup.
We have the number 1 team. The Boner Pills, 4-2. They go to war against the Dirty Randys, 3-3 in 6th place. Buys this week. Jonathan, the ageless wonder, Adam Thielen, who, remember, Andrew had on the start of the year, who Andrew is in 7th place and then dropped into week 1. Could you imagine, Joe Lozier? Oh, my goodness. Also, Jonathan is without CeeDee Lamb, too. Mason is without Tony Pollard this week. That's a big get, too. Fun fact, Mason is starting 3 Seahawks. What an idiot. 3 Seahawks, ladies and gentlemen. Kenneth Walker III, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, but they're playing Arizona.
Oh, my God. Are you actually defending that?
They're playing Arizona.
Projected to win in this one is 125 to 123. That's John beating Mason by 2 points. That's the closest game of the week. Joe.
John.
First year, I got Jonathan beating Mason.
I got John.
Finally, Joe Lozier. You know the segment. We're going to do a shot Fireball after. I'm going to pour it now.
It's time for Clay's Fantasy Football Primetime Game of the Week, of the year, of the century.
Who am I going to do? The 4th versus 8th matchup? Am I going to do the 1st versus 6th? Or do you all want me to do the 6th versus 1st?
I think it's incredible. Like, what are the odds that the number 5's playing the number 3 again?
Joe, I typed up this script and I said, you know what? I need to make somebody else America's Fantasy Football Game of the Week, but I couldn't justify making anybody.
I agree. This should be in the spotlight. It's number 5 versus number 3, 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, it's hidden.
Because if the playoffs ended today,
which they don't,
you wouldn't be in them.
Well, let me tell you about this next matchup, sir, and let me tell you that I will be in them because it is now time for everyone's favorite segment brought to you by the official and unofficial sponsor, Fireball. It is America's Fantasy Football Game of the Week, of the year, of our century game. And we have your commissioner, Clay Major, Run My Chub with Bijan Mustard, 3-3 in 5th place, taking on the Red Hot Grease Lightnings, currently on a 3-game winning streak at 4-2 in 3rd place. Remember what happened the last time, Joe Lozier, a team on a 3-game winning streak beat me? Faced me. They didn't beat me.
They lost?
Yes, badly. Blown out is the answer, Joe Lozier. Buys this week, Joe. Your commish, your boys, Dalton Schultz, Joe Mixon, and Nico Collins. Brees Light, Joe. This is where it gets juicy. I don't know if Mahendra's made moves yet, because as you can tell by the waiver wire segment, I had him down for nothing. Miles Sanders is on a bye. Brees Hall's on a bye. Tyjae Spears is on a bye. He only has 1 active running back on the roster, which is Rachaad White. Ooh! Oh, that makes me feel good. Projected point total in this game is going to be 109 to 106. They do favor Mahendra, the Brees Lightning. However, Joe, tell me who you favor.
I got Mahindra. I could go into detail if you want, but I'm just giving you my pick.
Yeah, do it.
Matchups, dog. Matchups.
Fair enough. Who else, Joe? I'm taking Commish.
Of course.
Mahindra has his best players on bye. Bro, he has one active running back. Who's he going to pick up? Garbage, bro. Get out of here with that trash, dude. It's easy peasy. I'm in the bank, ladies and gentlemen, because this is my show. I will pick myself when I want to. We're live. We don't need the script. I don't need the script. I don't need the pen. Joe, thank you for being here. You are the greatest. By the way, you look great in that jersey.
Thanks. My top 54 friend let me use this for our creamsicle game. And by top 54, I mean Rashad White's number of a friend. Let me use this for the creamsicle game. He let me don it. It was great. It was a birthday gift from his lovely girlfriend. Thank you, Nikki. And thank you, Clay, for letting me wear this to our throwback creamsicle game. I wish the results were better, but appreciate it. I'll have to give this back to you sometime, get my sunglasses back. Thanks for having me. If you like the show, like and subscribe. Sorry. Yeah, we're great. You're the man.
Hit the bell button.
Did you say goodbye?
Not you. All right, bro. Thank you, Joe, for joining us. We have our official, unofficial sponsor, Fireball. And ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please join us next week, as we'll be here same point, same time. And we will see you then. Thank you. Good night.